welcome to the Art of Happier. I am your host, Sandy. If this is your first time listening, thank you. Hope you listen with an open heart and that you return. If this is not your first time, welcome, tribe. As you kind of know, if this is not your first time, you know that we open up the show with intentions and journal prompts. And when we have a guest, we talk about Zodiac, astrological birth chart of the person, just to have a cultural background um, and a zodiac background. And then we ask the question, what makes you your highest self? So the intention for today, for me, is season 1, episode 11, and it's about astrology. I want to talk to you about like I said on the last episode, that we will get into the archetypes of the zodiac sign. And my intention is three simple ones, and they're all related to fun and joy. Uh, I feel that finding out your sun sign is a great idea. One, because we will have the best tattoo idea, and we're gonna have a good pickup line, and also we'll have something to talk about with others. And those are my intentions for today. And because we always ask our guests what makes them their higher self. Okay, let's just rephrase this question. When are you your highest self? I always ask that question, right? And it's important to distinguish that a lot of the times we don't know what what do we mean by this, right? And what do I mean by that is, like, when are you your happiest? When are you your happiest? When are you the most fulfilled teacher, and you can receive and you can give to others, and you are connected to the God in you, the best person that you can be? And that prompts me to my journal prompt, which is, what are you doing when you feel your happiest? I feel that it's important that we write this down and just think about it. And then take some time. Once you think about it, take some time to meditate into it. Like, just close your eyes and try to think of, you know, what what did you do when you were a kid, a child, and made you super happy? Like, what were you doing? Were you wearing a towel on your hair and singing songs with a fake microphone, like a hairbrush? Were you dancing? Were you break dancing? Were you writing? Were you reading? Were you filming? Or were you stopping the tape and writing down the lyrics of a song and then learning them and going to school and singing them for others? Or were you sewing or playing outside, baseball or basketball, football? I'm not sure. When you think about yourself, what, and you were a child, what made you your happiest self before any outside noise came in to tell you that you can't do that, or that you're not good at it, or a teacher or your parents, or just like policies, whatever, someone or something that you read change your mind? Before all of that, were you teaching your dolls? Think about what really made you happy, feel happy when you were a child. Was it nurturing or caring for your dolls? or wearing clothing and changing into your mother's dress. Think about that, because when you find that response, that's your authentic self. That's your authenticity. That's your purpose. That's what you're supposed to be doing. And when you look at your north side, when you study your astrological birth chart, you'll see that those things were already there, and that's what you're supposed to be leaning to, and that's what you're supposed to be doing. Even if you take it up as a hobby, and if you are already doing that, then kudos. Email me, call me, DM me. We need to talk, because you are happier. Before we continue, I want to review. And before we review, I want to also let you know that this recording, season 1, episode 11, is going to be a little different, because I'm going to do it in 3 parts. Astrology is so much information, and I'm just trying to really condense it and just make it simple and fun, because it's supposed to be fun. It's so much information that if I put it all in one episode, y'all gonna kill me. And I'm gonna get all your texts and your DMs and the emails letting me know that you had to listen to it in 3 parts, and that you had to stop it because you went to the gym, and then you had to stop it because you was driving, and that it was long. So that's why I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do it in 3 parts. Let's review your persona, how people see you. The outside world is your ascending sign is what you show. And most of the times, and I'm probably going to repeat myself because I'm going to just be freestyling, and at the same time I do have cue cards, but just bear with me. Your ascending, most of the times, is what you drive, the clothes you wear, how you present to other people in the outside world. And then your sun sign is your characteristics, and that's your archetype, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Your sun sign. It's the sign that you tell people, oh, I'm a Scorpio because I was born November, right? That's your sun sign. And that's the one that most of the times you start with time and with years of wisdom, and you start learning your ascending, you start leaving a lot of that behind, and you start growing into your sun sign. But you present yourself as your ascending. And then how you are emotional and what you seek in your partners. And partners meaning even work relationship, any relationship, is your descendant. And that's your moon sign. So that's just a little review from the last episode 10. In the Zodiac calendar, there's New Year starts in the spring. So today is April the 2nd, and I want to say Happy New Year, because in the Zodiac calendar, April is Aries season, and it's the season of growth and new life, and that's our new year. So the 3 signs that I'm going to talk about in this episode are Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. And I know I have an accent, and I know that I'm pronouncing it differently. Look it up and pronounce it correctly. So one thing these 3 signs have in common is that they don't need anyone to tell them what to do. They are already getting things done. So the new moon yesterday is because it's usually 3 days before and 3 days after the new moon, is in Aries, meaning, and then this is also the Aries season, spring, new year, meaning is impulsive, it's getting things done, and they already know what to do. So everything is going to feel very much like it's propelling to get you to the next level. And that's because it's Aries season. Aries gets things going because it's a cardinal sign. So I want to elaborate on that. Cardinal signs like Aries start things, right? And then Taurus likes to keep them as they are, they're fixed. And Gemini talks about them, they're mutable. So we'll come back to this because we're going to start with Aries. So, Aries is a fire sign. And if you see the symbol for Aries, you'll see that it's a ram. So, it's mainly has the horns on the top of the head, and the body part that represents Aries is your head. Everything that has to do with the top of your head, because every sign has a body part, and Aries has the head and the face. So they're quick thinkers. The gem that is associated with Aries is diamond. The anatomy that's being ruled by it, like I said, is head and face. It's a cardinal sign. It starts things. And is yang, is a feminine. And it's a fire sign. And if you were born from March 21st to April 20th, then you're an Aries. Fun fact, an Aries is the child of the Zodiac. So when you hear Aries, think of your youngest sibling, even if you don't have one. Think of the youngest sibling. Think of the child. They're selfish. They only think about themselves all day. Think of a toddler. They don't care about you. They're hungry. They don't care about you. They want that. They want that thing that they want, whether it's going to break or not. And they're very, they know. They know that they want that. So think about the ego. Think about what we read in school with Freud when he said that the ego is about what we want and about ourselves. So that's Aries. And it's not a bad thing and it's not a good thing. Okay, I'm just saying. So Aries are pioneers. They're leading. They represent new beginnings. Rams are the only fire sign with a cardinal quality, meaning they love to start things, but they have a hard time finishing them. They see the start of something as fun, but they rather pass it off to someone when it comes to finishing them. And Rams are enthusiastic, impulsive, passionate when they express themselves. Sometimes you talk to an Aries and you'll see that they raise their voice and they seem like they're like angry when they're talking to you about something, but they're not angry. They're just very passionate when they speak. So that's why I ask questions. I ask people when they come to the show, what is your sun sign, or the questions that I ask, because when they raise their voices and and they are passionate, I know. Oh, okay, yeah, it makes sense. They're not pissed. They're not pissed at you. They're just expressing themselves. They are assertive. They are direct. They're very straightforward. It comes off as aggressive, blunt, or impatient. Sometimes it can come off as plain irritating, inability to see side issues because they see the goal. Sometimes they seem single-minded because they just focus on the goal. They are good leaders. They encourage and inspire others, and they are idea people. Novelty wears off for them. They don't follow through. In love, they pursue their loved ones to the end, and they are good matches with other fire signs like Leo, Sag, because they crave excitement and passion. They expect the same fiery attention that they give, and they like to trust. They would love to trust. Doesn't mean they trust you. They just want to. They really do. They do well with other air signs like Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. Doesn't mean that they don't do well with other people. I'm just saying it's a good match. They're good project leaders. So if you have an Aries on your team, when you have them on your team at work, you know that they're going to lead the project because they know the goal and they'll have exciting, great ideas. So at the beginning of the project, they're good for that. And they're generous. And I just want to also elaborate that they are, the sign is a yang, which is a female. And we'll get into that later on. But Aries, the challenges that they often face is that they're moving fast. They're moving fast. They wanna get things done. They want to get them done, and if they feel like you're in their way, they need you to get out of the way. So there's something really silly about a book that I was reading on Aries, and then it says they ask a question like, how many Aries does it take to screw in a light bulb? And the question is one, and you better get the hell out of the way. That's the way they are. They're not mean at all. It's just that they have an agenda. Um, just so you have an idea of the people that are Aries that we should know, it's like David Letterman, Van Gogh, Vincent Van Gogh, Russell Crowe, Martin Lawrence, Mariah Carey. That should tell you a little bit of their character, right? They're funny and straightforward, and they know what they like. Um, they they like challenges, and they are often wonderful leaders. So I want to give you another fun fact. Rams are quick thinkers of the zodiac, but also they are prone to injuries. So because they're always moving fast, they're not thinking things through. They always drop something on their feet. They trip on some shit. They hit themselves with something. Pay attention when you see an Aries. They always have like a little nonsense little accident because they're moving too quick. From a mythic or archetypal point of view, Aries is the cowboy of the American West, the rugged individualist, the wild woman, or even the goddess like Diana or Artemis. None of these types is high on setting down or settling down to build a nest, especially when they're young. They are adventurous and they don't care much about dirty dishes or roof repairs. So you'll see that a lot of the Aries that we know take longer to settle down and take longer to have children. Not long as in when they're 60, but what I'm saying is that longer than us. Like if we are in a friendship, you'll see that um, I'll have babies by the age of 20. They'll have babies by the age of 30. It doesn't mean that it's late. It just means that they take their time with settling because, yeah, they rather not do that. They don't like to take orders and they'll always try to climb to the top themselves. Their love of competition means that they won't let setbacks stand in their way. And their eagerness for new experiences mean that they'll jump whenever they see new opportunities. They are idea people. They're project leaders. As long as there's someone else around to handle the details and bring projects to completion, Rams also do well in creative fields, and they are like the very independence of self-expression. They love to work outdoors. Like I said, think about them as the cowboy of the movie. Rams can be and often are generous, especially when it comes to pursuing something or someone they want. Aries know that as long as they are working, they always have money. In partnerships, Rams love action and adventure and want their relationships to be adventurous too. You know, if you want an Aries to be happy, they thrive on action, adventure, and decisions. So make sure that you're not wishy washy about your decisions because they don't have patience for that. Um, I hope that I can kind of I kind of covered the Aries, but there's more to it, of course. But this is what our timing can cover. Now let's go to Tauro. ¿Cómo se dice? Tauro. Taurus. Taurus is it's from April 20th to May 21st. And these are the bull. They're considered the bull. And you'll see the symbol. The symbol is like a bull. You'll see it. No one is down to earth than the passive fixed earth sign, Taurus. And Taurus is consistent, is methodical. They have methods to their, whatever plan, they have a method to it. They're dedicated. And they have the need to grow and reach their full potential, whether it's their garden to work for or their family. They like to know the game plan and they stick to it. They don't like surprises. Why? Because they're fixed. The element is earth. The quality is fixed. The energy is yin, is male. So do. They do. They are the bull. And I particularly love this sign, not only because it's the opposite of mine on my wheel, my zodiac wheel, but because we have so much in common and because we get along very well. Well, I get along with everyone, but you know what I mean. I love this sign. One because, like I said, they just grounded people, and it's on the opposite of my zodiac wheel. So we have things in common, and it's like we usually are okay. We don't argue about anything, although we disagree on a lot. There's like no need to disagree because we are okay, if it makes any sense. Um, about the bull, if we want to talk about the light bulb again, let's say this: how many Tauruses does it take to screw in a light bulb? The answer is one, but she'll do it step by step when she's good and ready. So the thing about Taurus is that they are they are how they are and they're fixed about it and they get things done. However, they sometimes, if you don't, they get very compliant too. If they are comfortable in a situation, they stay there um, because they don't feel ready. So sometimes you have to kind of push them. And the reason why a lot of people say they're stubborn is because are their feet are planted firmly on the ground. They're calm and they're very dependable. Taurus is like the friend that you can really call at 3 o'clock in the morning, and they will come. Like they really will. Bull's connection with Earth means that they're often materially wealthy, but Bull's wealth can also be found in the cozy homes they create. Um, Everything they know through the body. This is because they're ruled by Venus, and Venus is the ruler of the senses. The thing about Taurus that you should also know is that they love to be surrounded by beautiful things. Um, they're connected subtly to their bodies and their homes, and they have good jobs, good friends, good marriages, and good children. Bulls are disciplined, orderly, and reliable. The thing about them also that I find is that oh, you should know about their body, their what anatomy part they rule is the neck and the throat, and we're gonna get there later on. But the neck and the throat, pay attention to that because um, Taurus is um, usually good singers or they're communicators. They talk, but sometimes they have issues with weight because of the thyroid gland that is by their neck, right? The color that is best for them for a Taurus is green. The gem is emerald. And keywords to know about them is ownership, dependability, and sensuality. Um, Celebs that are Taurus, maybe you see yourself in them, is Jay Leno, Jack Nicholson, George Clooney, Bono from U2, George Lucas, a couple of my friends. And yeah, I love Taurus. Bulls may be resistant to change and can become dogmatic or even preachy like. And when you ask somebody, are you a Taurus? Pay attention to that part. When they know something, whether it's religion or um, science, they become kind of preachy. Like they want you to, just because they believe it and they know it, they're very stuck in their ways, and not stuck, but they know they're very grounded in that belief, and they want to teach you that, and they just want to. Bulls can't understand what's all the excitement about, and they may be the first to tell you that all this new age stuff is a lot of bunk. Bulls can be lazy as well because sometimes they get too comfortable to get out of their chair, or they get too caught up in their earthly possessions that life itself passes them by, um, because their surrounding is so important to them that sometimes they don't allow other things to happen because they're just thinking about the things that they have. It's so important because Venus is their planet. Security and stability. Um, the bull, when they're in love, they just stay in love because they're a fixed sign. I can relate. Romance and love are one and the same to a sensuous person, and Taurus is very sensual. So those two things go together. Um, a bull will always be there for you and expects the same in return. So they get disappointed pretty easily because they feel like they do that for you. So they expect that from you. So the good thing about knowing your archetype is that when you know this about you, you work on yourself. You work on those things. You either make it better or you are aware and change it a little, and that helps out. Fun fact: Aphrodite was beautiful not to attract men, but to celebrate herself and her high standards. She was intimate only with those men who met her high standards for honor and love, and Aphrodite was a Taurus. Bulls are attracted to water sign, especially Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpios. But many bulls or rising bulls find their mate in a Scorpio. Bulls opposite. Told you we're the opposite. Bulls get along well with householder Cancers because bulls like their comfort. Remember, earth and water go well together. They create beautiful lakes. They're most comfortable with other earth signs. Um, I know an earth sign and a bull that get along so well. They're really good friends. And I know why. It's because earth signs are very reliable and they hardly um, disappoint you because they like to help other people. So bulls love that about earth signs, so they don't feel disappointed. Um, Again, they're most comfortable with earth signs whose reliability and need for established routine match their own. Don't expect fireworks though. Therefore, in other words, um, they get along, they're really good friends, but they might not be a good, passionate connection when it comes to um, taking that to a next level because um, they they just know each other really good as friends, right? But anyway, uh, the good thing about earth signs with the bulls is that everything is always in its place as it should be according to the bull. So that's why they get along. Taurus rules the neck and the throat. I said that before. And I'm just reading from my notes. The thyroid gland in particular can be a problem for bulls. They might not properly convert what they eat into energy and so can be prone to gaining weight. Um, so just pay attention to that. Bulls are well known for like singers like Ella Fitzgerald to I don't know, Barbara Streisand. Yeah, Barbara Streisand is a bull. Um, Home is where bulls thrive. They gather, they arrange, they organize to make home the best place. So, and they just love their home. They, I'm just gonna tell you this. Bulls crave comfort and security, and they are calm about their home, and their homes reflect that desire. Therefore, when you walk into a bull's home, it's a good place to be. And most of the times, when you go into a bull's home, there's always food because they love to make you feel comfortable and good. Not only will they be wonderful cooking, but you're sure to be invited to stay. Tauruses love to take over the lead after the project is underway. Therefore, an Aries will start it and a Taurus will continue it. They don't like to start anything, but if you give them the instructions how it is, they'll go and they'll continue the work and they'll finish it. They'll do the details of it. So Aries will start the project, Taurus will do what needs to be done because they pay attention to details, to all the way into completion. Um, what else did I write? Oh, many bulls are radio announcers or disc jockeys or podcasters. Mm, Something to think about. Bulls are wonderful providers and they may acquire a great deal of money and wealth of possessions. There's a danger of stinginess with them because again they're fixed, so sometimes it's like there's either a left or right, there's no gray, there's no in between. So they love beautiful things and they want them for themselves, and sometimes it's hard for them to let go of them, but that also sometimes becomes stinginess because bulls might hoard their money or hide it away because they want it to be safe. Not because they don't want to give it to you, it's because they thrive on safety and security.
There's nothing wrong with a little security, but bulls need to be aware of taking it to the extreme. Bulls, in partnerships, only those who can truly walk the walk will catch the interest of a bull, just so you know. So let's move on. Oh, no, wait, I have something on sensuality. They're connected to their bodies and their homes. They normally have good jobs, good friends, good marriages, good children, and they're disciplined. I think I said that. They're attracted to water signs. I said that. And they're attracted to lively signs like Aries, Gemini, and Sag. I said that already, but it's okay. I'll say it again. I'm sure a Taurus out there must be like, yay, she said it again. And now we can go to Gemini. I feel like Walter Mercado. I feel like I should have like an astrology name. If anybody wants to send ideas, I'm open. Or maybe I could just use my first name and last name, like Walter Mercado did, right? Anyway, this is our last sign of the spring, of the new year, of the season. And it's Gemini, and it's one of my favorites. I think I love them all actually. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know why you'll hear me say my favorite, and then you're like, wait, but you just said that about Taurus. You just said that, but Aries is the ram. When you think of Aries, think of let's go, let's get going. And Taurus is the bull, and it's tending, it's nurturing, it's guiding. And Gemini is the twins. So it's like two minds in motion, two heads in motion. Gemini is the twins, and they're quick and they are witty. And think about as Quicksilver. This is what I wrote. No, but first, before that, Gemini, let's talk about the light bulb. How many Geminis does it take to screw in a light bulb? The answer is two. That's it. That's the answer. Two. And then you stay like looking at that and you're like, and that's it, and that's it. And that's how they leave you. Gemini come into your life, and if you have a Gemini friend or a Gemini parent, you'll see they come in, they say what they say, they leave it, and they leave and they come back. They come back and they change their mind, and then they convince you why they changed their mind, and then you believe them, and then they leave, and then they come back and they change their mind again. And both of the times they change your mind with that, because they have good reasons for both. They're just quick, and they're okay with being um with having two ideas at the same time or at different times of the same topic. Twins are like two people who share one body, often appearing to go into two directions at the same time. You'll see the symbol like that, usually of two people, one body, or the number two. You'll see that's the symbol for twins. They may even refer to themselves as we. Sometimes you talk to a Gemini and they'll say we. Um, and it's because they they are two in one. Twins never miss or forget a thing, and will leave you in their dust if you can't keep on. They are cerebral, they are witty. Twins talk all the time. Pay attention, because twins always do what they say. When you meet a twin, a Gemini, they will tell you. Great example, Kanye West. They will tell you, I'm going to win an Oscar, or I'm going to travel the world, or I'm going to go to Africa by the age of 10. Pay attention, because whatever they say, they do. Gemini is a mutable sign, they're mutable, which signifies change. They are yang sign, which signifies motion, and they are air sign, which signifies the mind. In their quest for knowledge, twins are always in motion, 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 always alert, always trying to leave and live not just two, but many lives as much as they can, all at one time. Um, they are curious, they want to find things out, and then they move quickly to something else. They're great communicators because Mercury, the planet that rules them, is in them. Um, So Mercury is the the planet of communication. We'll get into that another time. We're just talking about the archetype right now. But sometimes words can mask meaning, and that's another paradox of a twin. Meaning it's not really what they are after, it's the idea of themselves. So it's a different type of sign. I tell you. Think air. Air flowing, just flowing. Um, yeah, think flexibility. Uh, just so you know, the body parts that rules Gemini is the hands and the arms. So Gemini, when they're talking to you, they're talking with their hands. They're talking with their motions. They're using their arms, and you can see that in them. Like it's so amazing how when you know the archetype, um, you start putting one and two together. Think of mentality, communication, and versatility. That's how they are. They are an air sign, they're mutable, and they're yang, which means their energy is yang, and the color is yellow, and their gem is agate. Agate. Um, the Geminis that we kind of know or that I've heard about, it's Tupac, Biggie, Kendra Lamar, um, Kanye West, uh, George H.W. Bush, Marilyn Monroe, Bob Dylan, Donald Trump, Angelina Jolie, Jolie, and there's so many. Mike Myers. Just think about these people. When you think about them, that's a Gemini. You know, and I'm saying don't think about it in a negative way. Think about it like they get things done and they communicate, and sometimes they communicate a lot and without a filter and what's on their mind and then in their heart. And then they come back and they're great people. They come back and they change it or and that's who they are. It's amusing. They're very amusing. There are two sides to the coin, and it's all too easy for a twin to flip back and forth in between them. Um, at their best, twins are masters of invention. They're so freaking clever and adaptable, and they're never afraid to try something new. But this same eagerness to try everything can lead them to a scattered brain or restlessness. And sometimes they come off as unreliable and ungrateful because they sometimes leave things to move on to the next. And for example, as a parent, when you have a Gemini child and you invest in this cello or in this piano that they want to take up, or I don't know, whatever hobby they do it, they master and they move on to the next thing. And you invested all that time and money, and you feel like they are unreliable or ungrateful. And it's because they already are on to the next thing. A fun fact, um, the symbols suggest that dual sides of human nature. The symbols for Gemini, the twins, it symbols the body and the soul. On one hand, it's the body, and the other hand is the soul, and maybe that's why they draw it like twins. And it's a lot. Like I was doing my research, and I'm like, this is a lot. So I'm trying to put it in simple terms so we can all grasp it. Twins can run themselves to an emotional exhaustion or feel that nothing matters. At their strongest, their wide variety of interests brings them many, many friends and many experiences. The Geminis that I know um, travel the world uh, because they're here just to connect. Their quick mind enables them to take it all in, and you can always count on a twin to be the life of the party. Twins are flexible, adaptable. They rise because they are a mutable sign. And mutability means changeability. They're able to change according to what's going on at that moment. Um, Sometimes I feel that if you don't understand that, it's easy for you to feel drained around a Gemini. Um, because they change. Mutable signs such as Gemini occur as the season is changing, and so are the associated. They are associated with transitions. Just so you know, other mutable signs are Virgo and Sag and Pisces. Mutable signs happened at the end of the season. They're transitioning into the next season, so they're not one thing or the other. Geminis are also very resourceful because they've seen so much, and that's part of their mutability. The more you're willing to change, after all, the more you're going to see. Um, Gemini is obviously a sign of relationships. They they just have so they just know so many people. Um, but translating that into love can be a little challenging. I want to say this in a positive way because astrology, I feel like it's an art and you have to learn how to read it um, in a way that doesn't condemn anyone to anything and it doesn't say anything negative about your experience or anyone else's. And if we're not gonna, and we don't want to judge. So I want to say that hmm, it it translates into most of the times into casual relationships when it comes to partnership because twins won't give you all the attention you want because they have other things going on and that could make it a difficult thing for their partner. um but twins also can be the ideal partners. They're charming, witty, generous, and genuinely interested in you. It's keeping that interest that's the hard part. Meet them on their own ground with wit and imagination. And as long as you do that, then you got yourself a good person, your person. So, just so you know, they get along with air signs um, uh, with themselves, like a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius. And because they like to feel like you're feeling their air. Fire feels air, so they get along with Aries, Leos, and Sag. And you know, they like down to earth signs because they're mutable. They're mutable like Virgo, and yeah, Virgo is like the only one. The other two are like, maybe. They might be a little bored. But other than that, Geminis are interesting to say the least. Twins are always on the move, making their arms like wings much of the time. Yeah, I seen that when I talk to them. If twins don't learn to relax, all that flying around can lead to emotional exhaustion. That's what I wrote. And twins need spotlights and stoplights also, because if they don't have stoplights, they will be exhausted. They will never stop. Twins at home. That's a very hard thing to interpret. What I gather, they'd rather be on that world and going with it than just to stay in one place. Twins are great communicators, so if they are at home, you're likely to find them on the phone or gathering new information from reading or watching TV. Careers careers like advertising, writing, broadcasting, public relations. Um, they like to be challenged. Uh, they like the technical field. They're great DJs because they are the party people. Communication. They're excellent at persuading or influencing others. They're quick with their tongue. Um, they will feed their need for new ideas, communication, movement, and action. So, twins like to spend their money on information, computers, travel, cars, things, because they want action and movement. Twins, it's information, and um, they want it how they get it, and they just want information all the time. Are They're often giving the life of the party, and things to remember about Gemini is that the first the first of the air sign, and air is the element of mental activity. So rising twins are always thinking about what's next. So let me just rephrase that because I didn't say that right. Remember that Gemini is the first of the air signs. Air is the element of mental activity, so rising twins are always thinking about what's next. And oh, yeah, and that's all I wrote about that. But things that you should know, keywords about what I said about the signs, is that the signs of springs are Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, and the cardinal is Aries, who likes to lead and pioneer. And the fixed sign is Taurus and is dependable and sensual. And mutable Gemini is versatile and quick thinker. I love Aries because I feel that my south side is Aries, so I feel very connected. I feel like I've I've conquered a lot of Aries um, in my chart. I've conquered a lot of that. And also because we share the same planets, I can relate to Aries all the time, and we get along so well. One of my best friend is in Aries, and even when we disagree, we are on the same page because of our planets are the same. And fun fact, Scorpios and Aries share the same planets, and not all the zodiac signs have two planets, and Scorpio and Aries have two planets. That's another episode. Um, I love Taurus because of their Venus, um, their planet Venus. I love to be around, surrounded by beautiful things, so I can relate a lot to Taurus. And they love food, so I love Taurus. Um, and and they're dependable and sensual. Uh, Mutable Gemini is versatile and is a quick thinker. And the best creators um, are Gemini. So I love Geminis. So in other words, I sound like Oprah. I love the New Year in Zodiac signs. Anyway, um, yeah, so that's it for episode 11. And I want to invite you to review and rate this podcast. If you are part of the LGBT community or the WISE, which is the 45-year-older and older community, please let me know how can I support you and include you in the conversation. Email me at theartofhappyher at escthenetwork.com or DM me at happyher.artistry. And that's happyher, HAPPIHER dot artistry. I've been told I am responsive to my DMs. And I want to give a shout out before we end the episode. This is very important. Every time that I record, I I've been meaning to give a shout out. It's just that I am so nervous in my own. I'm like all in my own self, like that I forget to do that. And I want to give a shout out to her Instagram is I am China Doll Cat. I am China with a Y, CHYNA Doll DOLL Cat KAT. I am China Doll Cat. She is the owner of House of Herbs, and she spelled house with an A, HAUSO, House, House of Herbs. And you can follow House of Herbs at the Herb Bar Inc. So she has a website, and the Herb Bar Inc. The herbbarkinc at gmail.com is her email. And the reason why I'm giving her a special shout out is because she sent me a box with so many goodies. With I'm not sure if you ever seen the bundles that you can sage your home with, and it has roses, and some of them have oranges and rose petals and rosemary and lemongrass. Well, she sends me different type of bundles, and what I do is that with different type of bundles, sometimes I do cleansing and purification, and sometimes most of the times when I'm going to record, I use my bundle to record to cleanse my space of recording, um because I feel like it's important before I start that I leave all my 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 judgments or anything aside, or my own prejudice or biases aside, and also to relax. There's a lot of reasons why I do it. So I do that first before I record, and I every time I do that, I say I'm gonna give her a shout out, and I don't. So I'm doing that now. Please follow her. Her Instagram is I am China Doll Cat. Um, and she's the owner of the Herb Bar Inc. And I am truly appreciative because she sent me these cleansing and purification bundles, and I've been smudging and clearing out air and cleaning my home and using it for personal reasons. Um, and I've been so into myself that I haven't given her a shout out. And I think I know I said this, but that's how I'm thinking aloud because that's how I clear my mind and that's how I communicate. Um, so yeah, she sent me one for prosperity and success, and it's so uplifting. Um, I love it. It's divine energy, and it brings joy and happiness to my space. She sent me one with cinnamon, and that helps me with my psychic abilities. And it also serves me for protection and healing energies, and it attracts and magnifies love energies. So I use that before I'm going to do my rose petal baths, because it uplifts and gives me power and abundance. Um, and she also sent wild sage and with apples, and that's symbolizes love, and who doesn't want love? And it clears my space of negative energies, thoughts, and feelings, and it promotes healing and wisdom. And it's excellent for meditation and strengthening. So Um, Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. And this concludes season 1, episode 11 of Happy Her podcast, the Art of Happy Her podcast. And we're ready to dive in with our summer signs. Are you?